Now, live from WPRI-12, this is Eyewitness News, Night Beat.
Unless you do it and go through it yourself, you don't know what it's like. Your heart is ripped right on your friggin' body.
Tonight, an Eyewitness News exclusive, an emotional reaction after an accused cat hoarder explains why she did it. But first, we begin tonight with breaking news out of Cranston. That's where tonight a Shell gas station on Park Avenue is closed. It shut down after police were called to check out a suspicious package there. That's when the bomb squad was even called in to help. Eyewitnesses on the scene describe what they saw.
Yeah, it looked like a cardboard box.
Like a shoebox? A little bigger.
Bigger than that.
Bigger than a shoebox. But it looked like it was all brown, like paper or something. Wow. It was nerve-wracking, you know, and as he's walking towards it, I'm saying, what am I doing over here? You know, what am I doing? I have to be nuts.
We're just hearing through other people that possibly it was a bomb. And then when they found out actually what it was, you know, what was it, noodles? Yeah. Noodles, ramen noodles. I couldn't believe it, you know. And just sitting here for 2 hours over something like that, I just can't believe that someone would do something like that. Hopefully they will catch the person that did that.
Well, do you think that, did it look like actually it was intended to be suspicious?
I think so. I think so.
Well, as you heard a couple of hours ago, police determined the package was nothing suspicious, only a box of noodles that may have fallen off a truck. Now to our top story, sewage spewed in East Providence, and now we know the repair work won't be done for a while. A gaping hole was the result of a broken underground line that sent raw sewage running down the road. It is our top story tonight on the Night Beat. Eyewitness News reporter Heidi Kemp has the details.
You're looking at that enormous sinkhole, 15 feet in diameter, and you can see the hoses still pumping the water through them. Now, crews are on the scene working throughout the night trying to fix it, but first, they have to find the problem. It's still a guessing game tonight as East Providence engineers try to figure out what went wrong when this road collapsed Friday afternoon. They know a sewer main broke, causing the sinkhole. The question is, where did it break?
Crews are working hard here. We've been setting up bypass lines. We've had 2 lines we had to bypass before we could even start excavating here.
All the water must be rerouted and new piping must be ordered. Engineers are also trying a TV camera tonight, moving it through the collapsed lines to look for damage. Until they can assess the damage, excavation cannot begin. Who exactly is impacted here?
Actually, other than with the detour, people going around, and it's a fairly convenient detour around this location, there are no driveways in between this area that's closed.
Meanwhile, huge piles of stone have been dumped in the roadway. That would go in the hole?
Go in the hole under the pipe.
This East Providence lieutenant told me he was at this exact location when the road collapsed Friday, sending a flood of raw sewage through the streets.
I was standing as far from the section of the lane as your cameraman is right now to me. I just happened to be looking out my window and looking right at it. It fell right in front of me.
The Public Works Director hopes to have at least 1 lane open here by the beginning of morning rush on Tuesday, but he says that's not a promise. With the mobile newsroom in East Providence, Heidi Kemp, Eyewitness News.
Now to an Eyewitness News exclusive. The owner of dozens of cats speaks out tonight. Her home is condemned and her pets have been taken away. It happened Thursday after animal control officers found nearly 150 cats. The cats were living in filth inside a Pawtucket home, something the owner says she just could not control.
And then they started multiplying, and this is, in the last year, this is what's happened.
In the meantime, people are lining up to adopt the cats. So far, we know at least 20 have been taken out of animal control hands and into new homes. From our Providence mobile newsroom, Eyewitness News in the capital city. That's where Eyewitness News crews were on the scene of a bus accident. It happened on Dorn Street, right in front of the Biltmore Hotel before 6 tonight. 8 people, including 2 ripped-up bus drivers, were taken to the hospital with neck and back injuries. Police say a Bonanza bus filled with passengers put on the brakes when a ripped-up bus rear-ended it. Then a trolley wound up hitting the back of the bus. From our Northwest mobile newsroom, Eyewitness News in Johnston tonight, a 43-year-old man is under arrest charged with DUI and causing this accident on Cherry Hill Drive. Police say he swerved into oncoming traffic, slamming into a black car carrying a family of 4 at the time. We're told several people were treated for minor injuries. We're working new information now on a bank robbery. Tonight, 2 juveniles are under arrest, but New Bedford police are still on the hunt for this man, 34-year-old Isidore Barboza. Officials say he and the other suspects stormed into the First Federal Savings Bank on Rockdale Avenue Tuesday, demanding cash. If you have any information, police want to hear from you. We're also working new information tonight on a deadly accident. A state grand jury has indicted Jonathan Raymond in the death of a jogger. Raymond is accused of crashing his car into two joggers on Route 12 in Scituate. It happened back in March. The accident killed one man and seriously injured the other. He will be back in court at the end of this month. The Episcopal Church is breaking its silence after Rhode Island's bishop talks openly about the ordainment of a gay bishop. Today in Providence, the bishop held a news conference regarding this week's controversial vote, in which Gene Robinson became the first homosexual Episcopal bishop, something Reverend Wolf says could lead to big changes in the Episcopal Church.
I think it's a good idea for us to work on our theology of relationships outside of marriage, and we have not done a very good job of that.
However, some Episcopal leaders across the country felt the vote would wind up splitting the Episcopal Church down the middle. Almost 4 weeks after this scene in Charlestown, the Narragansett Indian tribe holds its annual meeting tonight. With the smoke shop confrontation still unresolved, tribal leaders say they are anxious to settle this dispute. Tribal customs, from dancing to other traditions, help get the 328th annual meeting of the Narragansett Indian tribe underway Saturday.
It's been very interesting, and everyone looked really nice.
It's a rare opportunity for the public to get an up-close look at Indian customs.
And you'll see the different types of Eastern regalia, like the turkey feathers in my war bonnet, and the wampum and so forth. So you'll see a lot of Eastern, Chief Sachem Matthew Thomas says this year's meeting is different from those of the past 3 centuries. As the fallout from this July 14th state police raid on a tax-free smoke shop continues, Friday, Governor Don Kucheri appointed an American Indian representative to a panel reviewing the raid, a move the chief says he approves of. She comes with tremendous credentials, and she's highly respected in Indian country.
The independent panel is to issue a report on the incident. The governor called for the review after state police and members of the tribe clashed on federal land during the raid. Several tribal members were arrested.
We're hoping that the governor does request federal subpoena power, because if they're going to interview any of our tribe, since we're federally recognized and it's before Judge Smith, we hope it's under federal subpoena.
The governor also asked the panel to provide suggestions on how state-tribal relations can improve. Coming up next on Eyewitness News Night Beat, it's been a victorious day for American troops in Iraq. We'll tell you about the latest developments on America at war. And relief for the parents of a pair of missing college students. We'll tell you where they were found tonight.
And in the weather department, we're looking at the latest Doppler radar, which is showing much of the rain moving off to the west of us. I'll have my complete 7-day futurecast. It's coming up. You're watching Eyewitness News. It's coverage you can count on.
Eyewitness News on WPRI-12 continues.
Major developments now in America at war. Tonight, this man is in U.S. custody. Saddam Hussein's former interior minister surrendered to coalition forces earlier. Meantime, there has been more violence in Iraq. 4 U.S. soldiers have been killed in an attack in the northern city of Kirkuk. It happened when they were hit with rocket-propelled grenades and small arms there. Well, they helped fight the war in Iraq, and now the crew of a Navy submarine, they are back home. There's a lot of celebrating going on right now in Connecticut, where the USS Providence and its crew just returned home after 6 months at sea. Eyewitness News reporter Lee Felici reports.
We've missed them. It's been wonderful. You can hear the horns now, and it's just so exciting. It's wonderful, wonderful day.
At the Naval Submarine Base in New London, families stood anxiously awaiting their loved ones on the USS Providence. The submarine crew had been away for 6 months. They were deployed to provide support for Operation Iraqi Freedom.
You don't hear about submarine sailors very often because they are the silent service, and when we can throw a party for them, we do it wholeheartedly.
This crew was busy. The USS Providence had fired Tomahawk missiles into Iraq during the war. They also responded to a distress call in Italy and helped put out a brush fire. They couldn't be happier to be home.
Coming out the river and seeing all the banners from the family and all the, welcome homes kind of brings a tear to your eyes as you come up the river. It's just really wonderful, all the support we have during the ride.
That was Lee Felici reporting there. We also have more good news tonight. This time, a Cape Cod mystery has been solved. 2 missing students are safe after a nationwide search. A private investigator found the couple in an Orlando area hotel. It happened earlier today. But now their parents want answers, saying their children would never intentionally make their parents worry. The pair had been missing since July 26th, when they were last seen leaving a hotel on the Cape. Coming up next on Eyewitness News Night Beat, California's gubernatorial games are just getting underway with a few more names in the mix for the state's top job. And it's a doggy delight that will have man's best friend running wild in the city by the sea.
And in terms of the weather situation, we're dodging the raindrops right now, but I think we'll get some showers before the night is over. My complete 7-day futurecast is coming up. You're watching Eyewitness News. It's coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, the only station to call. Eyewitness News, 401-438-3310 or star 12 on your Nextel phone.
A total recall is underway right now. The Terminator says he's ready to terminate the competition as the recall election in California officially gets underway. Eyewitness News reporter Manuel Gallegos has the latest details.
On the final day to declare whether they're in or out, a cast of candidates stepped forward.
I promise you we'll be back right here.
Arnold Schwarzenegger flexed his newfound political muscle by filing his campaign papers. With wife Maria Shriver at his side, he says he's ready.
I will be the people's governor.
But dozens of others want the job, too. Republican millionaire Bill Simon, who lost to Governor Gray Davis last November. GOP State Senator Tom McClintock. And Davis's own right-hand man, Democratic Lieutenant Governor Cruz Bustamante. Also in the game, former baseball commissioner Peter Uberoth, running as an independent alongside talk show host Ariana Huffington. In all, more than 400 people took out papers to run. A porn publisher, a busty Billboard star, a former child star, and a host of unknowns with big dreams.
And I'm going to whip Schwarzenegger's.
But some have also dropped out of the race, including millionaire Congressman Darrell Issa, the man who started the recall, and also Insurance Commissioner John Garamendi.
I know firsthand that this recall has become a circus.
Governor Davis is trying to rise above the hoopla.
Leadership is not just a bunch of snappy one-liners.
But in the anything-goes atmosphere of this recall, the most exciting act could end up stealing the show. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now, with Southern New England's most accurate forecast, Eyewitness News Pinpoint Weather.
Hi, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mark Rosenthal with you on this Saturday night. We've been dodging the raindrops all night long, but I'll tell you, I still think we get a shot of some showers here late tonight or early tomorrow morning, but well, we may get by without having a lot of rain. All right, let's look at the latest radar situation and see what's going on as we check out pinpoint Doppler radar. Notice all the rain, northwestern Connecticut, west central Massachusetts, Vermont. Much of New Hampshire is getting rain, but notice this whole area is moving north. It's not trucking east, so we're sitting pretty at least for a while. All right, we go from the rain into the tropics as we go back to the other map, and we're looking at a non-tropical area of low pressure, which is located about 700 miles to the east-southeast of Bermuda. It's punching off to the west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now, this is important because there's a big ridge of high pressure in all levels of the atmosphere building on top of this thing. That means there is some room and some time for this thing to become tropical. Lots of room for the air to spit up and evacuate from the top of high pressure. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens with that. All right, weather headline time. We are talking about the fact that we're just basically stuck in a rut here in terms of the same old deal. We say more rain coming. The heaviest is going to be off to the west of us, and maybe just a few showers. Maybe we'll dodge much of this. Mixed bag tomorrow with a lot of clouds, some sunny breaks, a few scattered showers with thunderstorms. Temperatures could hit 80 if we see any sun at all. And then you know what happens after that. Monday and Tuesday and early Wednesday, just more of the same. But after that, the pattern will be changing as the mean storm track should leave the East Coast, at least for a while. Temperature, Providence, 75, 74 in Newport, 73 in Smithfield. Same old deal out around Hartford, 75 degrees. It's very muggy as well. Dew points are running in the low and mid-70s from Providence eastward to Cape Cod, westward to Hartford, down to New London, Connecticut. Check out the latest satellite loop and radar loop combined. You're going to see a whole slew of moisture coming up from the mid-Atlantic coast, but notice the heaviest rain is peeling off to the west. west of us. There are some patches of rain down here which may sneak in here later on tonight or early tomorrow morning. Then we'll break into some sunnier air, some clearer air here tomorrow afternoon with temperatures perhaps jumping over 80. So it may not be a bad beach day with variable clouds during the afternoon, 75 to perhaps 80. Water temperatures close to 70. Don't forget the sunscreen. The sun's still very strong at this time of year. So here's the deal tomorrow. Variable clouds, warm, steamy, 70s and 80s, maybe a shower at the storm. This cold front will never get here. The jet stream situation, normally weather moves from west to east, but not this time. It's backing in from the ocean. High pressure is what we are calling a retrograding in from the Atlantic Ocean. That means steam heat coming here beginning on Monday. A little trough of low pressure in the northern jet here. That means a cold front is just going to wash out north of New England. Big ridge out west, too, where it's been hot all summer long. All right, let's check it out locally. Here is the situation for tomorrow. Variable clouds, 70s and mid-80s all across the area. Slight chance of a shower or a thunderstorm around. We've seen it before. We've lived it before. The 7-day futurecast talks about more of the same. How many different ways can I say the same thing? You know,
say it like Arnold.
I want to tell you, Maria, tell them to vote for me. I'll be back. No, we're looking at variable clouds for the next several days. Could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms, just basically in the 80s. So grin and bear it. I'll be back tomorrow. Vote for me. I bake the head.
Thank you, Mark. Okay. Well, it is the moment many Rhode Islanders have been waiting for all year long. Buddy makes his big debut. Buddy the musical made its world premiere tonight at the New York International Fringe Festival. It's a gangster musical. We're told it's full of style that tells the true story of Buddy Cianci, Providence's former mayor. It documents it all from how he turned Providence into the Renaissance city, of course, to his squabble with the FBI. Coming up next on Eyewitness News Night Beat, the Lincoln Little Leaguers try to stay in the game today. We've got highlights of their semifinals next in sports. Eyewitness News is coverage you can count on.
Now, Eyewitness Sports with Rob Garofalo.
And welcome back. We begin at Fenway Park, where the Red Sox look to right their ship against the Orioles. Now, the Sox dropped both ends of a doubleheader yesterday. Gritty little squad went back to the drawing board tonight. And things started well enough for the Sox. Bottom of the third inning, bases loaded for Bill Miller. He shoots this double to left center. Todd Walker will score, and right behind him, Doug Mirabelli. The Sox would grab a 2-0 lead. Tim Wakefield got the start, but couldn't hold the lead. Tony Batista caps off a 3-run fourth inning with this 2-run shot to the monster seats. That makes it 3-2 Baltimore. Now the Sox, they can play long ball too. Manny Ramirez, a laser shot that clears everything in left, number 26 for Manny. That would tie things at 3. The Sox get the go-ahead run when Travis Driscoll uncorks the wild pitch, allows Damian Jackson to score for third. Then Sox get insurance and history from Kevin Millar.
1-2, high and deep to left. See you later.
Millar, a 2-run shot, the 10,000th home run hit at Fenway Park. The Sox would hang on. 6-4 was your final. Meanwhile, Yanks and Mariners at the stadium, down 1-0. The Yankees' Nick Johnson ties it with this line drive home run that bounces right off the foul pole in right field, number 8 for Johnson. That would be the only blemish for Gil Mesh. He went 8 innings, allowed 1 run on just 2 hits while striking out 7, including Bernie Williams right there. Andy Pettit, tough luck loser today, went the distance, allowed 5 hits and 2 runs, the game winner being that sacrifice fly that scores Ichiro. Yanks fall 2-1. They now lead the Sox by 3 games in the East. The Pawtucket Red Sox at home tonight hosting Buffalo. Buddy Bailey squad trying to snap their current 4-game losing streak. And drum roll please, the 4-game skid comes to an end. Paw Sox coming away with a 6-4 win over the Bisons. Ryan Roop improves to 6-3. Trace Coquelette, Cesar Crespo, and Lou Collier all go yard for Pawtucket. Now before the game, the Sheehan family of Lincoln, Rhode Island became the 10 millionth fans to walk through the turnstiles at McCoy Stadium. We know this for a fact because our own Mark Zinni counted each and every one of those 10 million fans. Now coming to the ballpark, the Sheehans receive a new Volkswagen courtesy of Fiore Volkswagen and get this, lifetime passes for all future Paw Sox games. Not a bad deal. Speaking of Lincoln, the Lincoln Little Leaguers took the diamond against Maine today. A win for the Rhode Islanders earns them a spot in the New England Regional Final. Now, Lincoln defeated Maine in the round-robin bracket 69 on Thursday. Maine would strike first today. Jake LaChance with the single. That scores Jake Knox. 1-0 Maine. Top of the third now. Chris Costantino uncorks the wild pitch. The throw back to him gets away. That allows another Jake Rutt, to score. West Augusta would grab a 2-0 lead. Lincoln's Ryan Bouthillette cuts the lead in half. He sends this solo shot over the fence in center field. 2-1 now in the top of the 6th inning. But Aaron Allen would get David Hoey to end it. West Augusta advances. 2-1 was your final. Lincoln ends their regionals an impressive 3-2.
This whole experience has been a blast because all we've been doing is working hard and learning new things. Me being an 11-year-old, it's just a joy to be on the team, never mind all the winning that we've been doing. So I just hope next year is going to be even more fun.
That is baseball at its purest. The New England Revolution took their act on the road tonight down in D.C. Revs coming up just short. They fall 2-1 was your final. 2 football, American style. Now it's still only the first preseason game of the year, but Patriots fans had to like what they saw during Thursday night's 26-6 win over the Giants. Tom Brady led the Pats to a first quarter score with that touchdown toss to Troy Brown, all the result of a forced fumble by the defense. Now Bill Belichick has brought in some reinforcements on D this season, both through the draft and free agency. And for the veterans on this club, forming a cohesive defensive unit this season, at least early on, doesn't look too difficult.
We brought in 3 impact free agents. We brought Roosevelt, we brought Tyrone Poole, made a play tonight, Rodney Harrison, another impact player. So it was interesting to see how they were going to sort of gel with us tonight. And it was like I saw Rosie over there, it was like I had played with him for a while.
We still had to go out there as a unit and make sure that we can get the job done. And I think, so far, we've done, some things well. There's always room for improvement, but yeah, I don't think there's a chance that we would, be clashing with.
Meanwhile, Giants tight end Jeremy Shockey has apologized for his open mouth insert foot incident. Now, in an upcoming story in New York Magazine, Shockey is quoted as calling Bill Parcells a homo and criticized the former Patriots, now current Cowboys head coach for retiring a couple times, then returning. It should be noted, however, Shockey apologized for making those comments, but did not directly apologize to the tuna. You must apologize to the tuna. Final stop, the Lynx. 3rd round of the International, where the Stableford scoring system is used. That means you gain points for any shot under par, you lose for any shots over. Brett Quigley came away with 9 points today, increasing his total to 15. Shark Week on cable begins this Sunday. Only fitting, we show one right there. Greg Norman, a.k.a. the Shark, with the birdie, helped him to 18 points. Davis Love III had the putter in gear all day. Davis leads the event with 41 total points.
That Little League kid had a good attitude.
It was an amazing attitude.
Yeah.
Again, baseball at its purest. You can't beat that. You can't teach that.
Yeah, well, congratulations to them.
Absolutely.
All right, Rob, thanks very much. Coming up next on Eyewitness News Night Beat, a doggy delight in Newport. Coming up, we'll tell you where these pooches are heading to run free.
The dogs out.
Eyewitness News is coverage you can count on.
Eyewitness News on WPRI-12 continues.
All right, finally tonight, it's a doggy delight that will have your pet heading for the hills legally without a leash. Today, Newport became one of the first cities to open up a park for pets. Here, your pooches can run free without any worries. This dog park is a 1-acre fenced-in space specifically for dogs to run rampant with each other.
This is great. The dogs can run loose and they interact with other dogs and they have a wonderful time. It's great.
You never know what else could happen there. And yes, there is a fire hydrant in the park just for Fido. There it is, for real. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. That is our report tonight on the Night Beat. For the latest news and pinpoint weather around the clock, go to our website at eyewitnessnewstv.com. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for making WPRI-12 Southern New England's fastest growing source for local news. Eyewitness News. Coverage you can count on.